Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 25th of January 2023. I'm a little bit cross today, I don't know if you can tell, but I am. It seems that people are going to be attacking Us Unv'd just when he thought that kind of thing was over and done with. Looks like they're starting up again, but from a completely different angle. You're not going to believe this, but I came across this article yesterday, a publication called The Conversation, and in it, someone who works for the University of Portsmouth, there on the English south coast, a guy called Alessandro Ciani, wrote an article for this publication, and this is a title, They Knew. Why didn't the Unv'd do more to warn us? And then he goes on to say, while well-intending citizens lined up, did the right thing and received their lurgy big V's, now known to do more harm than good. Well, it wasn't the right thing to do then, was it? If you're now complaining that it's doing more harm than good, it wasn't the right thing. But let's carry on. Their Unv'd friends and family stood by and let them do it, even though they knew what we didn't. Some of them said too little, some of them said nothing at all. Our blood is now on their hands. Well, where do I start with that, eh? Let's start here. Even though they knew what we didn't. Well, I'm an electrician. You work at a university. I don't know what your role is, but you've probably got a good education. So how can simple electricians and labourers and all sorts of people like that know that it wasn't a good thing, but highfalutin people like you didn't? So don't blame us for your ignorance and your sort of lack of initiative to go and find things out for yourself. Blame yourself. That's what I'd do if I was you. Also, because that information, that was out there from day one, and I'm willing to bet that most people in this country knew of someone like me, either directly, friend or family member, or if you didn't know them directly, probably you would have heard of someone, that person up the road there, or who works on the other side of the office. Well, they're not getting the V. But given someone like that, you would think, and this is what I thought at the time, I would have thought that you would have come to someone like me and said, mate, what do you know about these things that I don't? Maybe I should talk to you before going and getting this thing. But for some reason, you didn't take that very obvious line of approach, and you just went and got the thing, ignoring what we had to say, and in many cases, don't forget this, in many cases vilifying us and calling us the anti-V word, conspiracy theorists, and all kinds of demonisation, not doing the right things for society, antisocial. So we did do so much. I know I did so much. I'd looked at my YouTube video count, funnily enough, yesterday, just before I saw this article. And do you want to know how many videos I've made on this kind of subject in the last 2.5 years? Well, on this platform, the video count's up to 888. Well, 889 with this one. And I've done other videos as well on Rumble, etc. So over 900 videos. So 900 videos, and that's not doing enough. How many videos did you want from me? 9,000 perhaps? And I'm not the only one. I know Lee from the Veritas Vincent channel, who talks about this kind of thing as well. He's done over 1,000 videos, and so many other YouTubers and people from elsewhere have done so much, either in the way of videos, articles, putting our reputations or trashing reputations. People have lost their jobs over this kind of thing. People have lost their reputations. And I'm pretty sure, because another thing I did is I warned all my friends and family. I was on the phone to my mum the night before she went and got her first one, pretty much begging her not to go and get it, because I suspected even back then that it wasn't a good thing. I was literally begging her, and as the old song from Squeeze went, begging's not my business, not normally. I'm a proud man, and begging's certainly not my business, but I was doing it there, and I was making videos and sharing it on Facebook, and emailing sort of video links out to friends and family. And I probably went from being a reasonably respected bloke to, no doubt they all now think, although they don't really sort of have a go at me about it, I reckon they all deep down think of me, Tim's just gone a little bit crazy with all this sort of cranky stuff he comes out with, or that he came out with. So I've lost a certain amount of standing and reputation among friends and family. Some of them I don't really see anymore, and others probably won't want to see me. So I've suffered like that. What else have I done? Well, I just so happened to go on dozens of what I call shopping trips, these events in London where we were trying to warn people about the Big V. I've been on dozens of those. At my own expense, getting on the train, spending out money on train fares and getting myself up to London, and spending hours on a Saturday afternoon sort of walking around, handing out leaflets, trying to make it known to people what the dangers of these things are. I've even sort of, and many other people like me have done that as well. Many others have stood on this side of roads with blimming great boards. I mean, if you're driving down the road and you can't spot someone standing there with a blimming great, I don't know, sort of 3 foot by 2.5 foot board in their hands, well, maybe you need to get your eyesight checked with the message on about, warnings about the Big V. So we've done that. Personally, I did that once, but there's people who do that literally every week up and down the country, and so we've been doing that. What else have we been doing? Well, all kinds of outreach events. There's been people who have sort of stood in their town centres with tables and leaflets, handing them out to shoppers, again with warnings on. I wasn't personally involved with this, but there was many people going into schools and serving the headmasters and head teachers notices not to sort of administer the Big V to their sort of pupils, otherwise they may well be liable. And that actually got a lot of people in schools not doing it. Many teachers, head teachers, actually sort of took notice of it and said to well, sorry, you're going to have to do the Big V administration elsewhere. So we've done that. What else have we done? Just so many other things, outreach, things like that. Personally, you know what I did about this time last year? There's a guy called Mark Sexton. He produced a script to use when doing this. So I took his script, I went into my local police station in Crawley, West Sussex. I sort of got, along with my Stand in the Park colleagues who supported me, and we went in there and I got this police sergeant out and I basically read him Mark Sexton's riot act, that if they didn't go and shut down the Big V centres, administration centres, there would be consequences not only for the Big V people, but also for them, the police. So I'm actually telling a police sergeant what the law is and how he is breaking it if he doesn't take action. And I took time out of my working day to go and do that, and I was absolutely pooping myself as I was doing it, but I went in and did it anyway. I didn't care. I was going to go and do it. So, you know, and then there was other people who were going to these Big V centres and getting them shut down, the mobile ones. There's footage, if you go and care to look, of people who actually got them shut down. They read them the right act, gave them information, and these mobile centres were forced to shut up shop and drive away. So, and I've been in contact with dozens and dozens, probably hundreds of people now who have said to me how they have spoken to friends and family, like I did with my mum, pleading with them not to get the thing, only to be ignored, only to be demonised and ostracised and called absolutely crazy. So you've got no idea, mate, no idea what we've done and what we've tried to do. And what I'd suggest is, instead of blaming us, as I say, for your lack of initiative and your lack of foresight to actually look into these things before just going along and getting them willy-nilly, because the government and the BBC are sort of telling you to do so, instead of blaming us, I would suggest you blame the government and blame the BBC and all of the rest of the mainstream media, who again have demonised us, tried to get us shut down. I've suffered on this platform. I've sort of had censorship going on with these videos on this platform. So blame big tech, blame the BBC. I was just literally, along with a couple of thousand other people, up there outside the BBC headquarters on Saturday, talking about basically the dangers of the Big V. And do you think any BBC journalists came out to interview anyone or sort of film us or anything like that and report accurately on what we were all about? No, they just totally ignored us, and that's what they've been doing all along. The BBC and the rest of the mainstream media have either totally ignored this thing, you know, the likes of me, or they've just again demonised us, called us the anti-V thing, called us the conspiracy theorist thing, when we're just all along just being totally concerned, worried, ordinary citizens, taking the time out of our day, our working day, losing out on money where I could just be, you know, earning a bob or two, sparking, and doing all of this kind of thing instead, spending money going up to London all the time, you know, to sort of do these kind of things, trying to warn people, trying to get the message out. I'm asking you, what else could I have done? And if you want to blame anyone, blame the BBC, blame big tech for their censorship, blame the BBC for ignoring the issue, blame the government for sort of ignoring the issue that has become so obvious that even idiots like you can sort of notice it. So you need to ask yourself, why is the government and why are the BBC, etc., still ignoring it? So there's a lot of people to blame, but the likes of us, no, mate, you can just go and do one. We've done everything we could have done to warn you, but you chose to ignore us. You chose to call us idiots, COVID-idiots, anti-V, and all of those other stupid phrases. So you've only got yourself to blame and the mainstream media and the government to blame. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, to be honest with you. I think I've said my piece, don't you? Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.